Miko Peled is a human rights activist and author who's calling for justice in Palestine. He joins us now from Washington, D.C. Miko, thank you very much indeed for your time. Justice may come later, but the priority right now remains a ceasefire. How confident are you that that can be achieved from the talks taking place in Egypt?
Well, thank you for having me. I have to challenge your assertion. I don't believe the ceasefire is at all relevant to this. There has to be a complete cessation of the genocide. It has to be one-sided. There has to be a complete cessation of the genocide of the Palestinian people. That is the only thing that needs to happen. A ceasefire when there's a genocide is completely irrelevant. It's not even the right term to use. Can you imagine demanding a ceasefire from the Nazis? It's absurd. It's not about a ceasefire. It's about ending the genocide immediately and liberating the people who live within the Gaza death camp, and then liberating Palestine. There's nothing else that should be discussed. And the fact that these war criminals are sitting there as though they own the place, as though they have some kind of a right, is absolutely absurd.
I take your point, but peace will have to be achieved step by step, and the first step to that appears to be negotiations over the various points of contention, and the ceasefire is what will have to come first before any of those can be achieved.
I have to contest your assertions. I don't believe that's true. The Allies did not negotiate with Hitler during World War II, and there was a reason for that. You do not negotiate with an apartheid genocidal regime. The state of Israel is in a genocidal regime. There's no room to negotiate. And ceasefire gives you the impression that there are two armies fighting. It's a genocide. It's not two armies fighting. Yes, the Palestinians have some resistance. Yes, the Palestinians are trying to fight back. But what we are seeing is a genocide. There's no ceasefires are completely irrelevant. And the assertion that this has to be done step by step is misguided. It has to be stopped immediately. The liberation of the Gaza death camp has to happen immediately so people can go out and access the resources that are amply available throughout all of Palestine. And they need to be allowed to go to their homes, and Israel has to pay for the rebuilding. Nothing short of that is going to end this. Israel has never, ever, any ceasefire that Israel has signed, it has violated from the very first disarmament agreements in 1949. It's absurd to expect that this will be different.
And how do you think that will be achieved?
By severe sanctions, by boycotts, by kicking Israel out of the Olympics and FIFA and all these other institutions, by closing down diplomatic missions, by sending home the Israeli ambassadors. This is a genocide. This is not some kind of a diplomatic maneuver. There's a genocide. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians dying in the worst way, and 5 minutes from the Gaza death camp, all the resources exist. So this is the whole paradigm here is absolutely misguided.
And how will that be achieved? Because clearly diplomatic efforts have been ongoing. Your assertion is that they have not gone anywhere near far enough. But how should the international community achieve those things that you've just set out?
The international community has to impose severe sanctions on the apartheid state. They need to close down the diplomatic missions. They need to end all trade. This was done before with South Africa. Sanctions are being imposed right, left, and center by the Europeans anyway. This is the one place where sanctions are absolutely the right thing to do. Israel has to be boycotted. There should be no Israeli delegations or teams allowed anywhere in the international arena. This has to be completely ended and immediately without negotiations. There is nothing to negotiate. It's a genocide and it has to stop. There is nothing to negotiate. It's not about diplomacy anymore. This has gone far enough. Diplomacy is not the issue. It's not about negotiating with the genocide regime. It's about ending the genocide regime.
And when you talk about justice for Palestinians, what form would that take? How would it look? And how long would that take to achieve?
Well, how long it would take to achieve depends largely on us and how much pressure we are able to place on the apartheid state. But justice for Palestinians means that liberating the Gaza death camp and allowing Palestinians to go back to their homes in other parts of Palestine and access the resources that exist there, and then liberating all of Palestine by dismantling the apartheid state, a liberated Palestine from the river to the sea. There's nothing here to negotiate. The Palestinians have to be allowed to return. The refugees have to be taken care of. Thousands and thousands of political prisoners that are languishing and being tortured every single day in the Israeli prisons have to be released without negotiations, without conditions. All of this has to happen unconditionally so that Palestinians would finally, be able to live. So the killing and the massacring and the torture of Palestinians will end. There is no one standing up for Palestinians. Palestinians have no place to go. They have no recourse. And nobody is defending and nobody's guaranteeing the safety and security of the Palestinian people. That should be number one priority. And the only way to do that is to place severe sanctions on the apartheid state so that it collapses, like the apartheid state in South Africa, like the Nazis ended up collapsing, and so on. This is more severe than people are, I think, realizing. It's a genocide. How many times, how many organizations, how many internationally renowned experts need to say it's a genocide and there's only one way to end it, and that is to end it.
Miko, we really appreciate you joining us here on TRT World. Good to get your thoughts today.
Thank you.